Hi, everyone. Welcome. We're just getting started, so I'm going to give everybody a few seconds here to join. Okay, in order to stick to time, I'm going to get started here. We are recording, and so if you have to hop off early, please let us know, and or just you'll get the recording as follow-up. Um, my name is Danielle. I work here at Omella and manage a lot of our partnerships. I'm so excited to join you. Thank you for taking the time to listen in. I'm joined by a lot of our amazing partners to talk about their experience using Omella. And we're going to kick it off with just a review of Omella's solutions. And then we're going to hear from some of our partners about managing things like dances, sports registrations, and fundraisers all online through our platform. And then we'll have time for a live Q&A. You are muted, and that's intended so that you can just relax, maybe eat your lunch, listen in, and you can always submit your questions through the chat if you would like to. And we will get to those maybe during our presentation or afterwards. All right, so Omella, if you haven't heard about Omella, you will today. Our platform is revolutionizing school payments. We have the ability to collect all sorts of information and payments or donations online. Everything from a prom ticket sale all the way through a car wash or a bake sale or someone purchasing a uniform or a pass for a field trip. We do it all for hundreds of schools across the US. And we are so proud to be here with a lot of our partners today to talk about their experience using our platform, how it's worked for their school, how their community has reacted to it, and how at the end of the day, it has put all of their revenue in one spot. And it's given them a really awesome way to save money by doing this online with us. So I'm going to jump in here. Our founders, Brett and David Koff, founded Remind. I don't know if you use Remind, maybe, but you've probably definitely heard of it. And with their experience in this space, learning Remind, learning their customers, and understanding how that served this industry at large, the biggest requests were how can we collect payments online from parents, from the community, and they were able to answer that with the Omella solution. And like I said earlier, Omella offers more than just collecting payments online, but it's one of the best things that we do, and we make it really easy for schools to use us across the board. And so school payments are messy. I know that. You definitely know that. And the old way here on the left-hand side is probably still the current way at a lot of your schools, and that's okay. A lot of times it has to be because you have so many different channels of giving, of collecting money, different people who may have different means to pay the school, and different organizations and people that are actually managing the revenue that's coming into the school. And so if that is what things look like for you today, that's okay. We're here to show you a solution to make things a lot easier and processing all of your payments or some of your payments through a system that allows you to have transparent reporting. And at the end of the day, a way for your school to save a lot of money on fees when it comes to organizing fundraisers or sending out requests for parents to pay for something, or maybe collecting something for ticket sales for an event that you're hosting. And so with all of these different channels at play, we recognize that some of them are necessary and some of them can be consolidated. And our goal is to make sure that we can consolidate what can be on your end and we can give you a transparent look of what's coming through. And the biggest thing that we do, I think the biggest difference of what makes Omella stand out in this space is the fact that we make this free for schools and free for payers. And so we have a few different options of how you can opt into using Omella today. But the end of the story here is really that we collect money on optional tips. And so Omella truly runs on generosity, and it's a model that we are really proud of because it allows folks like you to take home every dollar that you're raising through the platform. And that's something that we feel really passionate about. So there is no contract. You don't have to opt into a yearly subscription or any monthly fees with Omella. You don't have to use us a certain amount, or you don't get charged for using us school-wide. We're really proud to have a solution that allows you to opt in, to use our platform to collect any sort of information or payment that comes through. And like I said earlier, it's free. So that means that if you have a question at checkout, asking your donors, supporters, parents, community to pay for something or to give to your organization, they are asked if they want to tip. And so since your school uses Omela for free, they have the option to support Omela's model and tip. They can also bypass that tip and you're still able to use the platform fully for free. And then parents, we say parents, but a lot of times it could be other types of payers, also have an option to have a free payment online if they connect their bank and pay. And so we are really proud to have this free for schools model so that you can host all of your events, maybe some of your events and fundraisers online through us and be able to save at the end of the day. We fully recognize without even the testimonials of the people who are on the call with us today, how much work goes into an event that you run, how much effort goes in from the parents, from the students, and we want to make sure that you take that home with you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Brian Daniels. Brian is here with us today. He's the Assistant Principal and Director of Athletics at Oak Hill Middle School and has supported the high school with their rollout with Omela. And Brian and his team, both schools, partner with us for their athletic registrations. They partner with us for event ticket sales and peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. And so it's really great to have Brian with us today. Next, I'm going to talk a little bit about registrations. We're going to really focus on athletic registrations with Oak Hill and how it worked. So Brian, thanks for being here.
Yeah, awesome. Welcome everybody, and thanks for having me. Danielle mentioned that I was currently assistant principal director of athletics. Prior, I was the district-wide director of athletics. So that's really when I was kind of jumping into Omela here head first to see what they could offer. And it was one of those things where every time I asked a question, it seemed too good to be true. And it wasn't. That's just how great they are. It was awesome. Everything was. I don't think I got told no, and it just made my life very, very easy and simple. Um, One of the biggest things was sports registrations. We were still doing old school paper and pen, having families fill everything out. I would have to collect them, sort through hundreds of registrations, hundreds of med packets, insurance registrations, so on and so forth. I know there's online platforms out there, but they're all at a cost. And our district is not in a place right now where we can have additional funds to help support things like that. So it just kind of fell on me. So when Omela presented the ability to record all of those things, record them in a timely manner, and be cost-free, was absolutely a no-brainer. I know specifically a lot of our parents, community members, coaches have been asking for it for years because other districts around us were asking about it. And it's been extremely positive since the beginning. The fact that they only have to register once for the entire season, the fact that everything's digital, it's secure, so they know they don't need to worry about their students' health records or personal information being shared in paper and lost in a coach's hand or notebook. Everything's funneled to a spreadsheet, which we can then funnel to each coach so they only see that particular athlete's personal records, information, contact info. Was great for parents. As far as coaches go, they're not thumbing through emergency contacts to figure out what so-and-so's, mom's phone number, who's getting picked up today. I need to send an email to parents. How do I get a list of all their email addresses if I'm not a staff member of the school? And now I'm going through my athletic department to get contact information so I can mass send out schedules. Everything being recording right in that spreadsheet was just a game changer across the board for everyone. I know, kind of taking a step aside from registration, Danielle also mentioned the brunch and brush. We did a bunch of, I say a bunch. We started out by going, doing online ticket sales for some of our sports. We don't typically sell tickets, just the nature of our state. I'm from Maine, so we don't do a lot just in my conference where I am specifically, but we were able to utilize those same features for school events. So that in particular was our legislative assembly, which was a fundraiser for the school. They're doing a brunch and brush painting piece where people have to register online and pay to enter. So it was a great use of their skills and tools there. And then lastly, really was the peer-to-peer fundraiser that we've done. We launched that out with our boys soccer program to kind of pilot it, just because we had some coaches who were hesitant to that online fundraising platform. And I know personally, if my coaches are hesitant, that means more work for me. So I wanted to make sure that my coaches were adequate and felt comfortable using it. So we kind of rolled it out with one sports team. They made a couple $1,000s in one season, which was more than they've made in the last probably 3 years together. And it was very minimal effort compared to what they had done before. So across the board, from ticket sales to fundraising to online registration, Amel has been an absolute no-brainer for us. And everyone's super excited to see where our relationship personally kind of grows, to see what else they can do for us. So.
Thank you, Brian. I could probably say you're equally as awesome to work with. Getting things streamlined through the system, it felt like the top of the school year when we were doing that. We had so many schools coming with that same request, and I can only say like how proud we are to be able to offer a solution that helps you do that in one spot and that cuts down on the time that your staff are sorting through, probably you too, all the information that you're collecting in one spot. When things come in as sensitive as medical forms or sign-offs on consent and making sure that you have the correct contact information for people, you want to make sure that it's secure and that it's in one spot. And so we're happy we could do that for you today. Um, we're going to have a Q&A at the end. If anyone has any questions, you can put them into the chat, and Brian will be here for that as well. And so next, I have Abby Powers with us today. Abby has been incredible to work with. She works at Muir Middle School for the PTO program, and they ran a fundraiser with us this fall for the Colts Classic, which is for the middle school in general, all the parents and students getting involved. We're able to raise over $20,000. So Abby, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Can you tell us just a little bit about the fundraiser and what your goal was going into it?
Yes, so this is a fundraiser that we have actually done for probably about 10 years. Both of my children attend or have attended this middle school, but it's probably good to know that I also taught at this middle school for 10 years. So I have a lot of background on how their fundraisers went and how we kind of went through them all. So our goal, I think when we first talked, Danielle, our goal was $10,000.
Yeah.
Um, we just figured, so last year we did a really big push, but we hired a company to run the entire thing for us. And in return for running the entire fundraiser, we had to give them, it was a crazy percentage. I think it was like 50%. And in the past, we had never had an online component where our kids could register online. It was all through bringing money into the building or through like a Venmo or a PayPal. Um, so last year we found out it was so nice to have this online component. And I should mention that the elementary schools in our district have done that thing before where each student can have a landing page and you can send it out. The thing that we didn't know if we could recreate doing it ourselves instead of hiring this company was students putting in family and friends emails and those people also being invited to our fundraiser. We saw such a huge jump in the numbers with how much people were donating last year and how much each student was bringing in because they were able to share those emails. And I happened to be talking to Alec about it, and he mentioned Mela, which sent me to you. So that's kind of like how we got here, I guess.
Yeah, no, thank you for sharing that. And I know these things are not easy, as we all know, to organize and to manage the expectations of your school, of your parents, of your community, and then really how are you going to facilitate something like this? So we're really excited to be able to partner with you on it. Um, Can you like you broke 3 rounds of goals, so it was really cool. You broke the $10,000 goal, then you raised it to 15. You broke that goal, which was super exciting. I know that was like a milestone for you to hit. Then you got to the $20,000 goal, and this was all within 1 week. And so to see the momentum was just really exciting from our end as well. And I know you had class competitions and things to really just drive excitement and engagement around that. So we had a small piece of the puzzle. There was a lot that you were working on and managing on your side. Can you just share a little bit more about how, like admins or parents all reacted to using a new platform this year or how they felt about using Omela for this particular campaign?
Of course. When I first brought it up, I think everybody was willing to try it. I mean, obviously, the number one thing was that you weren't going to take any of our fundraising money. As a PTO member and as a teacher, I just didn't think that it was right to be asking our community for money and then not being able to keep it all. So you guys made it super easy for us to kind of recreate that, but with your help. And I would like to say that you guys were so much help. But in the past, we had never broken 15K except for last year. But then, like I said, we ended up giving 50% of it back. So we didn't break 15K. So this year it was kind of crazy, like Danielle said, to watch how, I mean, we raised 10, then we raised 15, then we raised 20. You know, we have a lot of elementary schools in the district that raise 20 grand, no problem, but middle schools have never gotten there. Parent feedback was really good. Actually, we only heard from a few parents that had any kind of trouble with the platform. And I'm talking like less than 5. And I think we have like 600 and some students at our building. Everybody was able to register that did end up participating very easily. I didn't get any emails, phone calls. I think the front office of the school got one. Our principal said at the end of the fundraiser that it was the easiest fundraiser from his end that he's ever done, including last year when the company ran the entire thing. So I thought that that said a lot about your platform.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. I think that's huge kudos to you as well. Like I said, I know these things, there's lots of effort that go into managing expectations around them. And this was a really awesome quote that we're proud to share. So um, maybe before you go here, just share a little bit more about the process and like getting implemented with Omela. And it was the easiest fundraiser for him, but maybe not for everyone when you get up and running. There's definitely tactical things that need to go. I know we helped you with page builds and stuff like that. Can you just share more about the implementation process for people who are joining today
Of
that are
course.
new to Omela?
Okay. The initial implementation was really easy. I just got a spreadsheet from our record secretary of every student in the building and every email that was on file for them. I gave that to you guys. You then uploaded it and sent out correspondence to our parents for us, which I believe I was able to like customize. I was, right, Danielle? Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
Okay. And then, so that saved me a lot of time not having to reach out, not having to bug my principal to reach out either. And then we had a few special requests, like we do like class competitions and stuff, and you guys were so great in making sure that we had everything we needed to do, everything we needed to pull those numbers. Any weird request I emailed, I feel like there was a lot of them. You guys were on top of and able to work out for us. So it was overall a great experience.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We're glad. Kudos to you again for doubling what your original goal was, and we hope to have you back for this fundraiser next year. And we appreciate all of your insights and sharing with everyone today.
Thank you.
Yeah. So next here, and for our final presenter, we have Caleb Carter, who's the Activity and Athletic Director at South Elgin High School. Caleb, thank you so much for joining. We are partnering with South Elgin on quite a few things, such as event ticketing, peer-to-peer fundraising, school collections, and more. I was going through it, didn't want to list everything here, but just so much fun activity going on. And we love to be able to expand at schools and make sure that we're able to make it easy for all the teams, sponsors, departments, and whatnot. So, Caleb, thanks for being here.
Hey, no problem. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. I can sing from the top of a mountain about how much Omela here at South Elgin High School. We just actually implemented our Omela program, or our Omela. We started utilizing Omela this fall. And the first thing we actually used it for was for our homecoming tickets. And our homecoming event was middle of September, and we generally sell anywhere from 900 tickets to 900 to 1,200 tickets for the event. So, you know, probably not my best decision to use that for the first event, but Omela was fantastic in working with us. I could tell you from my previous experience, we had several issues last year, even just building the actual homecoming page. what I liked about Omela was that we were able to, it's similar to Google Forms. So coming in and building the page was easier. We actually worked with Omela to have them kind of walk us through that first one because it was a high stakes for us. But yeah, it was easily customizable. We were able to open and close. We actually originally we started selling the homecoming tickets. We usually sell for 4 days. Of course, we continue to add other ticket sale dates just to get more and more kids to the event. And opening and closing our or our Omela page was super easy. And I can say from my experience last year in a different platform, having opened and closed things, a lot of times the information was loose, or some of the information we were trying to collect didn't always remain consistent from those open and closed dates, which then created nightmares for us the day of the actual event. So yeah, Omela was phenomenal, like from every aspect. Using them for the sales, like you can see there, we sold over $25,000 worth of ticket sales in 10 days. We were able to privileges. Hey, you know, so and so, this student ID is eligible, this student is no longer eligible. And it was just like this back and forth conversation throughout those ticket sale days. And I didn't have any issues. And I can tell you right now, last year I had 50 to 60 issues between student IDs, guest codes, separate codes for the event. Like, we had absolutely zero issues this year. And we sold over 900 tickets. So kudos to them for that. And then, I mean, the parents loved it. I mean, the kids loved it. I hear about how easy it was from our kids, from our parents. Heard about it last week at a booster meeting. So now anytime we're talking about kind of how we're using Umbrella or implementing it with different sales or fundraisers in the school, people are, you know, excited about actually using this program as opposed to what we've done in the past.
Caleb, thank you. Yeah, that's such a great summary. And I actually had the pleasure of working hands-on with Caleb and his team as we got homecoming set up this fall as a new partner, and could speak to his success in that short time frame of just making sure they were really efficient with being able to collect student information, make sure the process was incredibly secure. No one was buying a ticket unless they were a student or they were an approved guest through the platform, and that's something that we really strive for. We recognize, you know, security around school events is heightened nowadays, and we want to make sure that we can be a really strong partner in supporting you with getting tickets in the door and making sure that you have an easy process to check people in. So thank you for sharing that with us. And South Elgin has been expanding quite a bit. It's not just homecoming, it's tickets for theater, it's general fundraisers for the school for different classes. I've met with a few of your sports teams for getting up and running with their peer-to-peer fundraisers. And so it's really awesome to see schools like the ones that are on with us today start with one thing and then continue to expand. Once Omela is approved at your school, you can use us for just about anything with all of your different departments under one roof. So thank you so much, Caleb. I appreciate it.
Now, thank you guys. If you don't have it, you need to get it.
Agreed. Awesome. So I'm going to wrap us up here, but if you haven't understood already, just by our incredible presenters, the landscape of Omela is that you have one product that covers so much in one spot for you, and we have permission access for the right people in the right spaces on your end. So if your finance team needs access, they can see access to just about every dollar that's coming through the platform, what it's coming in for, who's buying what t-shirt, what size it is, and all of that and more. And we do everything, like I said, from a bake sale to a concession stand to a big event like prom or a National Honor Society banquet, all the way down to peer-to-peer fundraising and making sure that your school has access to a platform that you can sell yearbooks and caramel apples and all the things all year round. And so we're so proud to be able to provide that to you, and anyone that's on the line today will have access to learn more once we follow up with you. So wanted to make sure you understood that you can do this in one spot with one account, and the different folks on your end that are managing Student council and managing different sports teams like coaches and teachers can have access to their content in a secure manner. And lastly here, we are designed for CFOs. We're designed for the admins at your school, such as activity directors, principals, athletic directors, and so much more. And we don't offer contracting. So we make it really easy for you to be able to opt in to use Omela. And we are very transparent with all of our compliance and documentation so that if you're looking to get approved to use our platform here, we can provide you the vendor documentation that you need to make sure that your school feels comfortable with it. And we always say if it doesn't work for finance, it doesn't work for anyone, and that's so true. And so we make sure that this all-in-one solution has the ability for you to have special permission access for the people that are managing different events in different places, but then all-in-one reporting so that you can get access to revenue reports of what's coming into the organization every single day. And like I said earlier, we have the lowest fees in the industry. And so for you to opt in to use Omela is fully for free. As long as you keep the tip model on, you will continue to use the platform fully for free. And last, how can we help? And we can help in so many ways. And I know some of our partners mentioned today, our partnership alone, we really strive to make sure that you're not doing this by yourself, but trust me, you're totally empowered to do it by yourself. Once you learn the platform, you can get anything up and running in a matter of minutes. We have all of our solutions in one spot. So once you get access to your account, we have really simple, easy to use grab and go templates that make it easy for you to say, hey, I'm doing a concession stand. When you open that up, you have the ability to add in your specific products for your specific dates with the right pricing, the right quantity, and such. And then we have a support and success team that work with you every step of the way, should you want that. We can get on Zoom with you. We can chat with you via email. We offer the ability to build out pages for your events so that we take that work out of your hands and we can modify those pages to make sure that they are secure and personal and customized for whatever you're trying to run. And then we will share more of our pricing information as follow-up, but you can visit our website as well to learn more about how you can opt in today if you wanted to. So I know we only have 2 minutes left. It was a pleasure to be able to present to you today. Does anyone have any questions while we have our presenters on the call or anything you were interested in learning more about? I don't think so.
I think
Okay.
there's a question in the Q&A, but I can't access it.
Okay, let's
Okay,
see.
I think I see one. Oh wait, maybe it's gone. Oh, never mind.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
curious, real quick, just about the experience with the approval process of Omela, because I know that was, it's a common question. And it seems like the three panel, I don't know who's best to address that, or if all three, but speaking about presenting Omela to like the process from wanting to use Omela to implementation.
Brian, I'm going to pick on you. How was that on your end in getting Omela approved for your school?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a multi-tiered question because it depends who you ask, right? For
Right.
parents, and community members, it was a no-brainer. This is the easiest thing ever. It's taking time that we can get back from filling out paperwork. I mean, we were so old school. We made them do paper copies for every sports season. So if it was a 3-sport athlete, they were filling out the same paperwork 3 different times in a school year. I thought parents were going to run me out of town. So for them, this was the best thing ever. I think about our business manager in the finance office, and of course, they have their layers of questions and concerns anytime you're trying to bring in a new vendor or someone new that you're using. And I just shared with them Omela's one-pager that just kind of went over their expectations, their policies, all of those things, especially the Students Privacy Act piece. And she was sold. So that made it easy. I know I had several staff members who came to me saying, how did you get them to approve online payments? We've been trying to do online payment registration for years and no one in the school will budge. I just kind of told them like, it's one-stop shopping. I mean, they cover everything. They've checked their boxes. They made it easy. And it just made it awesome for everyone to kind of jump on board. And then I know as far as coaches and stuff goes, same thing. When I told them that they didn't need to keep, and I'm speaking regarding fundraising and registration right now specifically, when I said they don't have to keep packets of information on them, or they don't have to collect stuff from athletes, and during double sessions in the fall, they can just focus on coaching rather than collecting paperwork. They thought that was great as well. I mean, they saved hours of hassling kids or tracking them down or saying this or that or contacting. So it just all around, they just made it very simple and easy that no one really could say no because they had already thought of everything and worked through stuff on the back end.
That's awesome. And you're right, Brian. We have so many schools that come with those questions, when they are getting started, and finance has questions and other admins have questions, and you need to make sure it works with the other tech products that you're using as well. And so don't be afraid to ask those questions. Don't be afraid to ask what you need for approval on your end. We are very transparent with all of that documentation. We're always happy to fill out the forms that you need. And we're always happy to jump on a call with your finance department to make sure they're comfortable with processing and reporting and payouts and all of that. So I know I want to be conscious of time. I know we're a few minutes over. I'm going to kick it over to Abby here, our partner from K-12 Sports, to make sure we close it out and what you'll be getting as follow-up.
Yeah, well, thank you guys so much. Omela, I think most people know about the partnership at this point, but Omela has been an incredibly innovative and customer-centric partner of K-12 and also by extension the think tank. So we're so excited to continue the partnership. Thought this was a great first of many info sessions because it's part of our mission to get tools like some Omela in the hands of administrators that really need it, and coaches and parents. So we're going to follow up, or Danielle's going to follow up with the recording of this. So you'll get a link to that. Feel free to share it around if you think there are others that would benefit from something like Omela. You'll get a link with some more info, probably a little bit more shareable. And that's really it. Just really grateful for the partnership and grateful to Brian, Caleb, and Abby for their advocacy and their engagement.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for joining today.